Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. I'm your host, Ellen, and today we have 100 questions for the boomers. So let's begin. What region's rum was smuggled to the US during Prohibition? Central America, the Caribbean, or South America? The Caribbean. Which French tennis group began their Davis Cup streak in 1927? Two Musketeers, Three Musketeers, or the Four Musketeers? The Four Musketeers. Which effect demonstrated that X-rays scatter by electrons in the 1920s? Compton, Hampton, or Lumpton? Compton. Which faith promoted unity and peace in North America in the 1920s? Baha'i, Quaker, or Rastafarian? Baha'i. What was Gregor Mendel's scientific work rediscovered in the 1920s? Antibiotics, genetics, or psychiatry? Genetics. What expedition brought back research on Antarctica's polar ecosystems in 1925? Hierarchy Expedition, Discovery Expedition, or Antiquity Expedition? Discovery Expedition. Where did Al Capone control the illegal alcohol market during the 1920s Prohibition era? Atlantic City, Chicago, or Philadelphia? Chicago. What Cecilia Payne-Gaposchkin discover that stars were primarily made of? Helium, hydrogen, or carbon? Hydrogen. What became a national monument in 1923 and a park in 1930? Guadalupe Mountains National Park, White Sands National Park, or Carlsbad Caverns National Park? Carlsbad Caverns National Park. What temporary adhesive was used in the 1920s as a precursor to sticky notes? Glue, wax, or egg? Wax. What nickname did Yankee Stadium, open in 1923, have? The house that Beth built, the house that Edith built, or the house that Ruth built? The house that Ruth built. What event showcased British imperial achievements in Wembley in 1924 to 1925? The British Empire Exhibition, the English Empire Exhibition, or the Monarch Empire Exhibition? The British Empire Exhibition. What technology debuted in 1928 with station W2XBS? Television broadcasting, radio broadcasting, or telegram broadcasting? Television broadcasting. What infamous Prohibition-era massacre shocked the U.S. in 1929? The St. Valentine's Day Massacre, the 4th of July Massacre, or the Easter Friday Massacre? The St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Who delivered the first U.S. presidential radio address in 1923? Woodrow Wilson, Warren G. Harding, or Calvin Coolidge? Calvin Coolidge. What agricultural method was first tested in California in the 1920s? Aquaculture, sustainability, or hydroponic farming? Hydroponic farming. Where did the Orient Express service expand its train route to in the 1930s? Cairo, Istanbul, or Bucharest? Istanbul. Which retail chain opened its 400th store in Lancashire in July 1930? Marks & Spencer, Woolworths, or Sainsbury's? Woolworths. Where was Ford's River Rouge plant that employed 100,000 workers in the 1930s? Michigan, Montana, or Missouri? Michigan. Which H.L. Davis won the 1936 Pulitzer Prize for Fiction? Sugar in the Hay, Maple in the Field, or Honey in the Horn? Honey in the Horn. What did Ford introduce in 1932 to bring power to affordable cars? The first V6 engine, the first V8 engine, or the first V24 engine? The first V8 engine. What type of tea became a British tradition for laborers in the 1930s? Builder's tea, breaker's tea, or battler's tea? Builder's tea. What poem did Dylan Thomas write in 1933 showcasing his lyrical talent? And death shall have no dominion, no destruction, or no dark night? And death shall have no dominion. Which company added chocolate to their lineup in 1936? Kraft, Jell-O, or Nestle? Jell-O. In what research area did Rachel Carson begin in the 1930s? Nuclear physics, marine biology, or zoology? Marine biology. What treaty did Germany violate by remilitarizing the Rhineland in 1936? The Treaty of Versailles, the Treaty of Geneva, or the Treaty of Luxembourg? The Treaty of Versailles. What machine became standard in newsrooms in the mid-1930s? Fax machines, FM radios, or teleprinters? Teleprinters. What 1934 maritime disaster led to stricter safety standards? The Morro Castle fire, the Hindenburg disaster, or SSJ Oswald Boyd explosion? The Morro Castle fire. Which group wasn't involved in the Chinese Civil War conflict in the 1930s? Separatists, nationalists, or communists? Separatists. Who was awarded the first Nobel Prize in Economics in 1936? John Maynard Keynes, Harry Dexter White, or Thomas Sowell? John Maynard Keynes. What company innovated with diesel-powered tractors in the 1930s? Gorilla Inc., Caterpillar Inc., or Labrador Inc.? Caterpillar Inc. What candy bar, originally called Roundtree's Chocolate Crisp, gained popularity in the 1930s? Mars Bar, Kit Kat, or Bounty? Kit Kat. What company launched prepackaged frozen burgers in the 1930s? Taco Bell, White Castle, or Popeyes? White Castle. Which country hosted the 1949 Exposition Internationale du Bicentenaire to celebrate peace after World War II? Belgium, France, or Switzerland? Belgium. What societal development expanded during World War II for working mothers? Daycare centers, primary school hours, or bus services? Daycare centers. What continent was the focus of the U.S. Navy's 1946 Operation High Jump? Australia, South America, or Antarctica? Antarctica. What 1948 book began J.D. Salinger's reputation in short fiction? 9 stories, 19 stories, or 29 stories? Nine stories. What World War II musical by Irving Berlin boosted morale in 1942? This is the Army, this is the Navy, or this is the military? This is the Army. What 1945 act allowed U.S. soldiers' spouses to immigrate? The War Brides Act, the War Partners Act, or the War Spouses Act? The War Brides Act. What animal became a global conservation symbol in the 1940s? Tiger, panda, or the chimpanzee? Panda. What children's book series debuted in 1945? The Railway series featuring Thomas the Tank Engine, The Chronicles of Narnia, or The Lord of the Rings? The Railway series featuring Thomas the Tank Engine. What Van Gogh painting set auction records in 1945? The Blue Vineyard, the Red Vineyard, or the Yellow Vineyard? The Red Vineyard. What animated Disney feature marked the company's post-war resurgence in 1950? Cinderella, Bambi, or Pinocchio? Cinderella. What World War II postal innovation allowed soldiers to send letters efficiently? The V-mail system, the S-mail system, or the M-mail system? The V-mail system. What anti-malarial drug became widely used by Allied forces in the 1940s? Penicillin, chloroquine, or morphine? Chloroquine. What railway bridge was rebuilt in the late 1940s after heavy bombing? Tower Bridge, Pont du Gard, or Brenner Pass Bridge? Brenner Pass Bridge. What beloved children's book published in 1941 was created by Holocaust refugees? Curious George, Curious Henry, or Curious Edward? Curious George. What candy bar debuted in 1948 combining chocolate and coconut? Bounty, Coconut Ruff, or Almond Joy? Almond Joy. What was Porsche's first sports car introduced in 1948? Porsche 356, 365, or the Porsche 366? Porsche 356. What airline, founded in 1945, began as a cargo carrier? Flying Tiger Line, Flying Cheetah Line, or Flying Cougar Line? Flying Tiger Line. What was the nickname of the criminal Carl Chessman, executed in 1959? Red Light Bandit, Blind Light Bandit, or Black Light Bandit? Red Light Bandit. What event featured the kitchen debate between Nixon and Khrushchev in 1959? The National Exhibition in Moscow, the National Convention in Moscow, or the National Summit in Moscow? The National Exhibition in Moscow. What spacecraft took the first photo of the moon's far side in 1959? Soviet Luna 1, Soviet Luna 2, or Soviet Luna 3? Soviet Luna 3. What plant saw expanded cultivation in Asia for construction and textiles in the 1950s? Hemp, flax, or bamboo? Bamboo. What disease did the World Health Organization create an eradication plan for in 1958? Tuberculosis, smallpox, or polio? Smallpox. What national park program, launched in 1956, aimed to modernize park facilities by 1966? Mission 66, Action 66, or Response 66? Mission 66. Where is the Dinosaur National Monument that gained recognition in the 1950s? Utah, Arizona, or Nevada? Utah. What camera, released in 1957, could develop photos in 60 seconds? Polaroid land camera, Polaroid field camera, or Polaroid hill camera? Polaroid land camera. What marketing innovation, first used in the late 1950s, promoted perfumes? Department store tester walks, portable misting scent fans, or scratch and sniff stickers? Scratch and sniff stickers. What superhero team did Marvel Comics introduce in 1959? The Fantastic Four, the Adventures, or the Guardians of the Galaxy? The Fantastic Four. What did the 1950s discovery of organometallic compounds spark interest in? Organic chemistry, green chemistry, or compound chemistry? Green chemistry. What funding mechanism became common for highways in the 1950s? Volunteer booths, charity drives, or toll roads? Toll roads. What candy expanded its flavors in 1955 to include tropical varieties? Lifesavers, Starburst, or Skittles? Lifesavers. What humorous 1954 book explored data manipulation? How to Lie with Statistics, How to Lie with Numbers, or How to Lie with Data? How to Lie with Statistics. What company mass-produced affordable black and white TVs in the 1950s? RCA's Brixton plant, RCA's Hampstead plant, or RCA's Camden plant? RCA's Camden plant. What school gained global recognition for economic policy work in the 1960s? The London School of Economics, the European School of Economics, or National University of Singapore? The London School of Economics. Fred and Mary, who founded their family foundation in 1953. Coke. What event planned in the late 1960s emphasized global technological progress? Osaka Expo, Kyoto Expo, or Tokyo Expo? Osaka Expo. What 1967 musical brought countercultural themes to the stage? Hair, Dude, or Jesus Christ Superstar? Hair. What building was engulfed in the 1966 coal disaster in Wales that killed 116 children? Church, school, or stadium? School. Which group was named Men of the Year by Time magazine in 1969? The Beatles, the Apollo 11 astronauts, or Richard Nixon and Spiro Agnew? The Apollo 11 astronauts. What company led aerospace technology advancements during the space race in the 50s and 60s? General Electric, IBM, or Boeing? General Electric. What fast food chain, founded in 1969, introduced fresh, never frozen beef? Burger King, Wendy's, or Domino's? Wendy's. What deep-sea submersible explored the Mid-Atlantic Ridge in 1964? Alfred, Alvin, or Albert? Alvin. What seasonal McDonald's item first appeared in 1967? Boo Buckets, Pumpkin Spice Latte, or Shamrock Shake? Shamrock Shake. What collaborative plant improved auto manufacturing in the late 1960s? The NUMMI plant by GM and Mitsubishi, by GM and Honda, or by GM and Toyota? The NUMMI plant by GM and Toyota. What U.S. national park became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in the 1960s? Congaree National Park, Great Smoky Mountains National Park, or Shenandoah National Park? Great Smoky Mountains National Park. What makeup trend paired blue eyeshadow with frosted lipstick in the 1970s? Punk-inspired, boho-inspired, or disco-inspired? Disco-inspired Hollywood glam. Which 1978 Maya Angelou poetry collection celebrated resilience and empowerment? And Still I Rise, And Still I Live, or And Still I Dive? And Still I Rise. What Japanese pen gained popularity in the 1970s for its smooth ink flow? Pentel Write Pen, Pentel Sign Pen, or the Pentel Note Pen? The Sign Pen. What Hewlett-Packard Scientific Pocket Calculator replaced slide rules for engineers in 1972? HP 35, HP 45, or HP 55? HP 35. What book by Hunter S. Thompson introduced gonzo journalism in 1971? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Risk and Daring in Las Vegas, or Day and Sleeping in Las Vegas? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. What childbirth education classes became widespread in the 1970s? Aerobics, Lamaze, or gymnastics? Lamaze classes. Which state introduced a master plan for higher education in their public universities in the 1970s? Texas, California, or Georgia? California. What university pioneered artificial intelligence research in the 1970s? Harvard, Stanford, or Princeton? Stanford University. What Soviet fighter jet capable of Mach 3 speeds debuted in the early 1970s? MiG-25, Rig-25, or SIG-25? MiG-25. What first-generation home computer featured a built-in keyboard and monitor? Commodore PET, Yaris PET, or Pajero PET? The Commodore PET. What theoretical physics framework was formalized in the 1970s? The Standard Model of Particle Physics, the Global Model of Particle Physics, or the Unified Model of Particle Physics? The Standard Model of Particle Physics. What 1980s TV show portrayed an affluent African-American family? The Jeffersons, Family Matters, or The Cosby Show? The Cosby Show. Question 90. What did the 1985 Gramm-Rudman-Hollings Act aim to reduce in the U.S.? Budget deficit with tax breaks, with welfare incentives, or with automatic cuts? Budget deficit with automatic cuts. What 1980s Sharpie innovation added versatility to the permanent marker? Fluoro marker, chisel marker, or ultrafine marker? Ultrafine marker. What company was CNN founded under when it launched in 1980? Turner Broadcasting System, Breaker Broadcasting System, or Corner Broadcasting System? Turner Broadcasting System. What beauty company introduced the Beautiful fragrance line in 1985? Estee Lauder, Revlon, or Lancome? Estee Lauder. What U.S. Navy ship decommissioned in 1989 set service records? The USS Endeavour, USS Expanse, or the USS Enterprise? USS Enterprise. Where is the Kingdome Stadium, completed in 1980 and had a retractable roof? Seattle, San Francisco, or Santa Clara? Seattle. What drug introduced in 1987 revolutionized cholesterol management? Lovastatin. What company didn't lead long-distance calling service development in the 1980s? GTE, SOAR, or Sprint? SOAR. What operating system introduced in 1985 set Microsoft on a path to dominance? Windows 1, Windows 2, or Windows 3? Windows 1. What Van Gogh painting sold for $53.9 million at auction in 1987? Tulips, irises, or primroses? Irises. What frozen dessert launched in 1989 capitalized on a popular candy bar? Mars ice cream bars, Twix ice cream bars or Snickers ice cream bars? Snickers ice cream bars. Bonus question. Which brand launched its Air Jordan show in 1984? Let us know the answer in the comments. Thanks for playing this quiz. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.